A black woman was arrested for no reason in broad daylight. Minutes later, everyone in that precinct was standing at attention for her. The late afternoon sun bled gold across the street, glinting off the windows of passing cars. Heat shimmered over the pavement where a young black woman stood outside a café, her tailored suit crisp, her briefcase clasped neatly in one hand. She looked composed, the kind of calm that comes from habit, not ease. Then came the sharp sound of boots on concrete. 2 officers, stern faces, suspicion heavy in their eyes. The world seemed to narrow around her as they approached, their shadows stretching long across the sidewalk. "Ma'am, we need to see your ID," one barked. She blinked, confused but steady. "Of course, officer." "May I ask what this is a—" Her words were cut off. A hand gripped her arm too tightly. The briefcase slipped, papers scattering like startled birds across the concrete. People watched, silent, phones half raised, hearts half brave. The cafe door clicked shut behind the last onlooker. The officers dragged her toward the patrol car. No shouting, no fight, just the sound of humiliation wrapped in the rustle of fabric and the scrape of shoes. She didn't resist. She only lifted her chin slightly, her eyes unreadable. No one there knew her name. Not yet. The precinct buzzed with routine chaos, phones ringing, radios crackling, keys clinking against metal desks. Under the harsh fluorescent lights, the air felt sterile, almost cruel. The woman sat alone on a cold bench, wrists marked red where the cuffs had bitten into her skin. Her briefcase lay on the floor beside her, a silent reminder of the world outside, the world that hadn't asked who she was before judging her. Across the room, the 2 arresting officers spoke in low tones, their laughter sharp, careless. They didn't look at her, not really. To them, she was just another suspect in a long, forgettable day. She watched them, expression steady. There was no tremor in her voice when she finally spoke. "I'd like to speak with the chief of police." The laughter came instantly. "Yeah, sure," one snorted. "You'll get your call." "Who do you want? Your lawyer." Her gaze didn't waver. "Officer Daniels," she said quietly. The name landed like a small stone in a still pond. Minutes later, the door swung open. The chatter died. Officer Daniels stepped inside, his face draining of colour as his eyes met hers. "Captain," he whispered. A low hum of disbelief spread through the precinct like a slow-moving storm. Desks stopped rattling. Conversations died mid-sentence. Every pair of eyes turned toward the woman now standing in the centre of the room. She rose slowly, unhurried, brushing invisible dust from her blazer. The sound of her heels on the tiled floor was soft, yet it carried more weight than any raised voice could. The chief pushed through the crowd, his face drained of colour. His gaze flicked from the arresting officers to the woman before him, realization dawning like a blow. "Captain Johnson." His voice trembled, caught between shock and shame. The title hung in the air. Captain Maya Johnson. The woman who had been dragged off the street only an hour ago now stood revealed as their newly appointed superior, the one sent by the city to lead internal reform of this very precinct. The silence that followed was suffocating. The 2 officers' confidence crumbled. Their earlier laughter felt like a ghost haunting the room. Maya didn't gloat. She simply met their eyes, steady, calm, unflinching. "Let's begin with accountability," she said softly. Power had shifted, not through force but through truth unveiled. No one spoke. The weight of realization hung thick in the air, pressing against every chest in the room. The officers stood frozen, shame written across their faces, waiting for anger that never came. But Maya Johnson didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. Her calm was sharper than any reprimand. She reviewed the arrest footage in silence, the rough grip, the careless laughter, the moment her dignity had been dragged across the pavement. When the video ended, she looked up. "This precinct," she said quietly, "will remember that justice starts here, Not on the street, not in fear, but in how we treat people when no one's watching. Then she dismissed the room. No shouting, no revenge, just the echo of her words settling like dust over their guilt. Hours later, the sun dipped low as Maya walked back to the café. The street was quieter now. Her briefcase still lay behind the counter, untouched. Outside, an elderly woman dropped a small bag of oranges. Maya knelt, gathering them one by one, a gentle smile softening her face. The woman's eyes filled with tears of recognition. True power, Maya knew, wasn't about command. It was about restoring what the world tried to take away. The golden light of dusk washed over the city, soft and forgiving. The noise of the precinct had faded into memory, replaced now by the quiet rhythm of Maya's footsteps against the sidewalk. Each step was steady, deliberate, a silent refusal to be defined by humiliation. As she passed the café, the same people who once watched in silence now watched differently. Eyes lowered, some filled with regret, others with quiet admiration. Maya didn't look back. She didn't need to. The world had already seen what it needed to see. Her badge caught the last rays of sunlight, flashing briefly, not as a symbol of power, but of grace reclaimed. The city's hum seemed to bow around her, acknowledging something unspoken. A voice echoed softly, carried like wind over the fading day. Sometimes the world judges you before it listens. But strength isn't proven in anger. It's proven in how you stand after being dragged down. The camera lingers on her silhouette against the burning sky, shoulders straight, head high, dignity untouched. In that moment, Maya Johnson was more than a captain. She was a mirror, reflecting what justice should look like when it walks quietly but leaves the world changed. Never assume who someone is by how they look. True justice is not about punishment. It's about integrity and grace under fire. Power, when used with compassion, transforms humiliation into leadership.